Libra, what is this crap about you being so hard on yourself? No, a little birdie told me it was tarot. Actually, technically, it's not tarot, right? I've got no tarot in front of me. I've just got the oracle cards. Why are you being so fucking hard on yourself? Like, this is like personal brutality, I have to say. Like, it could actually be in some ways destructive, something that you're, just decisions that you're making, choices that you're making that are destroying your health because of your intent on your image. Like how have you been talking to yourself lately? You don't have to tell me, you know, but you can just admit it, because the wonderful thing about video is that I'm in the room with you, but at the same time, I'm really not. So you can say it out loud, and I'm not hearing and nobody's hearing, but you're hearing, and that's what's important. Because right now you have to get really, really truthful and honest with yourself about why you've been so hard on yourself and why it matters to you so much, right? Is it feeling like you've been defeated? Is it being ashamed of yourself? Is it feeling like you're not good enough? Like, what is it that is actually really getting to you and catalyzing what could be potentially harmful behavior because you don't accept yourself for who you are? Now, this is the underlying mentality right now. And I don't think you know it. I really don't. I think that there's some sort of determination or just a sense of maybe decisions that you're making. And I love when people trust their heart. They should always trust their heart. And I want you to trust your heart. But it's almost like there's a sense of you think you're trusting your heart, but you're actually going against it because you're just sort of succumbing somehow to what your ego is feeling. Have you been starving yourself? Have you been going on crash diets? Have you been looking in the mirror and really hating everything that you see because it doesn't not necessarily conform to society standards? And remember, Libra, especially if you're a Libran woman, Libran women are curvy. It's just a natural aspect of what they've got. Kim Kardashian, Cardi B, like this is a natural state of I don't know. I know some people will say, oh, they're not natural. That is the look of a Libran female body. If you know body types and you know how zodiac signs are aligned, you can sometimes tell what a person's zodiac sign is, or a predominant zodiac sign, by looking at the shape of their body. And Libra is known for curves, especially that sort of like heart-shaped bottom is really something that Librans enjoy and should rejoice in. But of course, something also that Librans can get stuck in is vanity. And vanity to the point of really wrapping their whole self up in their look, instead of, yeah, but is it keeping you healthy? Is it something that's actually good for you? So I want you to be very, very cautious of it, because either you're going to be getting some notification that a friend has passed away. I'm just saying. A friend has passed away, or that a friendship has ended. Something to do with a friend and a finality. They're at a distance from you. And there's just that sense of, that's the kind of like egg that's going to crack and make you to kind of like shake you awake, or make you start realizing that maybe your attention and your focus hasn't been in the right place. Now, I know it's like not every Libra in the world is going to get this terrible news. In some way, I think that there's been an ending to a friendship, or because of misinterpretations or misunderstandings, or just a lack of, lack of being like wanting to talk to each other about something. You have grown apart. There's been a distance or an ending of a friendship because of growing apart, or there is actually a passing away of, or an ending of a relationship that is somebody's at a distance of you right now. I do think that the distance is a big obstacle. And I also think that there's a lot of little things that are getting in the way of the two of you. Little things as in chatters, almost like stupid gossipy like things that don't really ultimately matter that much when it comes to somebody that you love or somebody that you care about. And so if you have a chance to reach out to somebody, I would definitely go ahead and reach out to them, because the distance, as the distance grows, so does the reality of them not being in your life. And even if it's not like the death, actual, like that kind of ending, and I hope that for none of you, I say a prayer, I'm a Libra rising as well, that's not what it is, but it is, there's a sense of distance causing a relationship to end. Yeah, that sense of, if it's growing apart, you're just going to start to go on without each other. But the reason why this is coming up is it's over stupid shit. It's not even over things that should be separating you. But this is like your obstacles. And this also makes me think of, there's somebody at a distance, like there's a great deal of distance that you'd have to traverse to get to them. But it also is a sense of, what are your obstacles? And your obstacles are, it's bullshit. It's like chitter chatter. Lots of times birds represent gossip, things that you've said, he said, she said, not necessarily somebody talking shit, but not necessarily somebody talking shit, but just a sense of letting little stuff become big stuff, when in reality, all it's doing is keeping you from the important stuff. Now, I don't think that you feel so good about this now, and it could be one of the things that's really exacerbating or pushing your buttons or pressure points right now in terms of your frustration toward how you feel about yourself. It's almost like you're emotionally frustrated. And this is like the caveat, like the downside of being an air sign, is sometimes you're not really connected to your emotions or where they're coming from. And it's a lot of times people think air signs do it intentionally. They don't do it intentionally, and that's what's so difficult. Like I said, there's difficulties with every sign. Not for other people, but embodying that sign. Difficulties with air signs is not always knowing that your emotions are impacting you the way that they're impacting you, because there is a little bit of a disconnect from what you feel and what you understand consciously. So I feel like there's definitely something that's going on and causing you this tumultuousness inside, and instead of like understanding where it's coming from, there's a sense of taking it out on yourself, you know, really being kind of brutal to yourself right now, or I don't think there's self-harm. I don't think it's that extreme, but you could be just acting out. Or listen, yes, absolutely, if you're dealing with somebody like this, you could reverse the energies. This could be somebody that you're dealing with. Ultimately, this is somebody who is disconnected from their emotions enough to be acting out. Like, you can tell that there's sadness, you can tell there's misery, you can tell there's frustration, but you don't necessarily understand where all that frustration is coming from, because they don't necessarily understand it themselves. So understand that they're not necessarily lying to you if this is not you. Right? Because if this is you, we're just here sitting and having an honest conversation, and you can be honest with a voice and a video and yourself, right? That's a safe space. But you may not really be ready to know it yet, in which case this message is serving as sort of the wake-up call of, if you have been ripping yourself apart or taking unnecessary risks with yourself, or distracting yourself, maybe spending too much money, being more frivolous than you usually are. I know technically Libras love to shop, but ultimately there's a sense of maybe shopping too much. It's because there is an emotion that's going on underneath, and you haven't really, you don't really understand it yet. You haven't recognized it yet. I don't think, and this is what actually concerns me the most, is that whoever this is, they aren't intentionally suppressing anything. They're acting out because they really don't have a conscious connection to it yet. And that is actually, I have to say, on some levels, even more worrisome than people who know it, but they're hiding it. Because at least then they know it, and you hope that they have some sort of control over it. But ultimately, when it's out of control is when it's really out of your realm of comprehension. And I think that there is a great deal of sadness going on, a removal from the self or the sincere self. But understand, it's like allowing yourself or somebody else, like allowing yourself and your imperfections to be be beautiful. There's a sense of what is exactly what is beauty. Like, and I know that Libra can get really jam-packed in with, you're ruled by Venus, how can we not? It's like a sense of really high standards when it comes to the way that we look, thinking that it's married to our quality or what people love about us. And the truth is, that may be a little bit true. They may like our looks and we appreciate being appreciated, but real love is really not about that at all. It's about connection. And when there's this disconnect inside of you, there's definitely going to be a disconnect outside of you, which could lead to hanging around people that aren't good for you or don't really care about you, or making poor decisions with people that you end up letting in your life because ultimately they help to encourage or somehow just enable this emotional detachment. Now, I have to say, so I'm looking right here, the card that's crowning your whole reading is inner conflict. You know, this is one of the very few Wisdom of the Golden Path cards that do not have a person in them, but they're very human based. And what this tells me is your nature, the nature of you, who you are naturally. It's been succumbed to some sort of ridicule, self-judgment, or a sense of, you know, those ugly aspects of ourselves that we or society tells us that we can't accept. Those are the ones that need love right now. Those are the ones that definitely need us to accept them, because the conflict comes from basically divvying up and chopping yourself up into bits and saying, well, these feelings are acceptable, but these feelings are not. And these aspects of myself are acceptable and I can show them to people, but these aspects are not. But the truth is, they're all acceptable. They're all correct. And by sort of bastardizing and separating different aspects of yourself is how we really start to get into unhealthy patterns. And you're like, well, tell me some good news. I mean, the reading is the reading. Just follow along. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I will tell you whatever news that is important, I think. And one of the major important ones that really shot out at me is love your body. I mean, it came out right away, and I all of a sudden knew what I was talking to, who I was talking to, or what I was going to be talking about. Because there's just this sense of, okay, what is this projection of you? Does the projection of you, you know, who you dress up as after your makeup and your hair is done, etc., etc., is it a reflection of who you really are, or a reflection of who you want people to think you are? There's some sort of disconnect either in this person that you're dealing with or in you yourself. So there's a sense of start over. By loving, the sense of accepting who you are. Even if you're dealing with somebody, they could have been making you feel extremely insecure at this point. But the truth is, the value lapse came from them. It wasn't you. It was something that they didn't see in themselves, like not being able to look in the mirror and really love who they are. So there's this sense of starting over as somebody who loves themselves, who takes care of themselves, who prioritizes their health above anything. Take a break from being so hard on yourself. If you have felt the need to like relax and recline a little bit, this must be what you allow yourself to do. I just heard this. For some of you, it may be actually going on a vacation. To be able to go and see somebody. You would be surprised, I think, to hear from this person at this point, because there has been such a distance between you. I think you really did think that this friendship was over. But from what I'm seeing is that's really just worry that's been going on inside of your head, building up to those anxieties really getting the best of you. But that's not actually, I think that you can still expect to hear from this person. I actually don't want you to sit there and expect, but there's some sort of breakthrough coming through. I do believe that things aren't as bad as they seem right now, but the anxiety that's building could really be negatively impacting you. So the answers you need are coming. We have that Gemini energy. I don't know if you're dealing with a Gemini, but this is one-on-one communication. So if you've been waiting on a phone call or waiting on an email, you haven't heard from somebody in a long time, you know, they could They could have been doing it on purpose, Libra, keeping themselves at a distance from you. But it was on purpose to really get their head together because they had a lot of things to get together. It really wasn't necessarily a judgment call or a criticism on you. It was just they had to prepare before they talked to you. There is that sense of you are good enough. That you are good enough comes up because when you haven't been feeling good enough. When you've been feeling that something is intrinsically wrong, or that they basically gave up on you, that you've given up on this situation because you felt that this person basically gave up on you, or vice versa. They could have felt like you gave up on them, or you're both feeling this about each other. But ultimately, there's some sort of communication that's going to come through, and it may be through a mutual friend that this communication is finally going to be able to like connect you again, some sort of connection that has to happen, or a conversation that has to happen, that hasn't been able to happen yet, that in some way has been making you question your own personal self-worth. This is, you know what, love who you are when you look in the mirror right now, today. Like love everything about yourself, and really just like know that nothing is wrong with you. Even if somebody has chosen to end a friendship or relationship with you, it really is more about what is working for them. It doesn't mean that you are somebody it doesn't devalue you when somebody doesn't see your value. You know that, have you ever heard that expression? Your value doesn't get lessened because somebody can't see it. It's just sort of an opening, and maybe you need a breather from the situation, but the breather has to start with an exhale, right? You can't take new air in unless you release old air, and you have to exhale the sadness, and you have to exhale the regret and the negative self-talk. You have to exhale that in order to allow something new to come in. There could be something murky going on financially that either you don't know about, or that right now you have a lot of anxiety about your finances. So it just seems like there's so many reasons for you to be anxious, and it's all like coming in on you. And you'll know, like, it's common for air signs to suffer from anxiety. Because it's a little bit, you'd think it would be a water sign thing, but it's like, no, we're kind of used to all that emotional pressure. Anxiety is really when you're feeling so much, but you don't necessarily know how to articulate it, or you're worried about too much all at the same time because there isn't a firm grasp on what's coming at you. Like, it's almost like too much is coming at you right now, and you just need sort of a breather from it all. I do think that there is a friend coming in to help you out with a situation. Like, you're in a tangle, right? You're in a bind, or vice versa, right? Somebody's in a tangle, somebody's in a bind. They've gotten themselves around either nasty people or a situation that's in over their head. They really don't know what to do, or they're confused. They're just kind of like, they just got themselves into a pickle, right? And this is friendship coming in. This is a card of joy. This is a card of relief. This is a card of somebody supporting you and caring about you, coming in to help sort of like kind of like break up all that craziness that we can get lost in as air signs, or as, you know, or as having some sort of, you know, emotional separation from ourselves. I keep seeing take a breather. It could very well be that there's a need to go actually visit somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. I just feel travel here. Let me go to our animal totem messages and see if we can get any clarification. There's always an extended reading that is below. It's a full tarot card spread where I ask the questions. What is the obstacle? Who is the obstacle? What are they thinking? What's in the way? And how do we move past this? And then it also includes a romance-specific reading as well. That's always down below, right under this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you really like this video, like it and share it on your social media platforms, because that really helps the channel grow. And then, of course, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified when I upload all of your content. I upload between 12 and 14 videos a week. And of course, you don't just watch your sun sign. There's your rising sign and moon sign that you should always keep up on. And then cross-watching, etc., etc. And then non-specific zodiac videos. So there's so much content here and on Vimeo, and you can subscribe directly there too. If you do that, you actually get access to the extendeds about a day before the link pops up here. And then also there's a weekly astrological forecast that I upload to Vimeo so as to not overload YouTube and what they allow, how many videos they allow per day. So, and that's totally for free over there every single week, just a general overview of how the cosmos is going to impact us for this week. I also post that to Instagram, at least partially, and join me, Born_without_boundaries, because I go live there all Monday through Friday most of the time. So I do daily tarot card readings, and there's a lot of, you know, Instagram specific content over there too. So please do join me. My little break talking to you for a second. Let's see what came out in the past. So there was some sort of hurt, or maybe this was a past lost, a friend that has already passed over, their spirit coming back and visiting you. This is also just that sense of owl, which is feeling that something was going to happen, or knowing it, kind of having insight into it, or just sort of some sort of wisdom. But I feel like there's some sort of clarity here. This is Gemini energy, some sort of clarity, or needing some sort of clarity on the reason or context or passing of somebody that mattered to you. You know, this is an energy that's trying to keep it light, trying to make it not heavy, but it was sort of a game changer for you. It was a life-changing experience for you. And of course, especially, you know, the loss of a relationship or of a life is always a game-changing event, because both involve grief and letting go and letting go of a piece of us, right? So this is something that happened in the past. So it's definitely some sort of insight coming through, communications that are more friendly and more light than you actually expected them to be. They had a purpose beyond you. They had a purpose that was sort of like they were called away to do something that they were compelled to do. It really didn't have anything to do with you. I just feel like there was a bigger purpose here. So let's get into a little bit more. So this is for Libra. It's a very personal reading this week. It kind of surprises me. It's a very, very personal reading. And not a lot wants to come out. They're coming out little bits and pieces at a time, which means you might be getting some sort of, like, information might be coming in little by little. This is sadness, and it's pain. It's definitely suffering. This is Scorpionic energy, having to deal with something that hurt you. That's all I'm certain of, is that it is suffering. Usually this is suffering that causes awareness, though. You know, getting information coming in that hurts you, but also settles you in a way, because now you know. Dream the world into being. This is the past influencing the future. So it's almost like the past coming back. This is definitely this energy around you right now, Libra. This has been going on for a while in the past, and it's almost been like hovering over your future. It's been impacting your present time. It's about to be exposed or realized, or confronted. Let's put it that way. You're realizing where this pain is coming from, maybe, finally, so that you can move on from it, unearthing it, and like uncovering it, or uncovering, it could even be a physical ache or a physical pain, and learning finally how to heal it. And time for a deep dive. And this is love. So this is a healing aspects of love. This is partnership. This is an unexpected partnership that comes in the middle of all this craziness. I just felt like there was a continued suffering, and when in reality, love is here. So there's an anxiety that's been growing and building in you that really doesn't, it's a little bit removed from reality. It's just, it's because of the pain that maybe you never really allowed yourself to confront or experience, or them, whoever it is. But I feel like this is very personal. Swan spirit is Libra spirit. Like, it's Libra energy. This is all about partnership. Okay, so this card came out first. Reclaim your power. Getting your energy back, getting your health back, getting your power back. you know, coming out of the dark, like wanting to be seen again. And I think it's because, I have to say this, if you've been off the radar for a while, Libra, it's probably because you've been working on yourself, or you've been working on something. You've been working on resolving some issues that you kind of didn't want to do in the public. Spirit has a plan. This is all divine timing. It's all about fate. This is about rebirth and somebody about to get reborn just at the right time, in the right place. It's spirit guided. So this does have like seeds of destiny all around it. It's like, yeah, seeds of destiny all around it. I can't wait to go to tarot, to be honest with you. Let's get into your, you can go now if you want, but I love reading the angel card readings, so stick around. There's a lot of hesitation here. Your cards aren't moving as confidently as they usually do. And it's almost like this sense of like going through an inner conflict, like a dark night of the soul type of having to churn all this up in order to get rid of it and heal it. Archangel Gabriel is here. You will soon receive some positive news. The channels for clear and honest communication are now open. Keep an open heart and speak your truth lovingly without fear. Whoa. Archangel Uriel is here too. A great spiritual transformation is currently occurring both in your life and in our world. And ain't that the truth? This is the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter. Heart and mind unite in harmonious balance. Wow. I told you, this has got destiny written all over it. Trust is the card that was in the middle of the two archangels. Uriel and Gabriel, just in case you needed a review. All will work out well. We, your angels, are here to nurture, protect, and heal you. Trust in the healing power of our love. We love you more than you will ever know. So angels got you. They're helping you along, and it's Archangel Uriel and Archangel Gabriel. If you want to check them out, you can Google them. There's a ton of information. They're usually associated with specific colors. So go see if you've been experiencing these colors lately. I think Gabriel is a purple color, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I would just go check it out. Definitely check out the tarot, because I want to know exactly what's going on, and we'll pinpoint the details. We'll get the nitty gritty, and we'll get answers as to like how to solve these problems, how to get through these challenges, like what is the real issue over in tarot. That link is below, and I'll see you guys over there.